Riverside Park, Yankton, on the banks of the Missouri River for the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Championships. Well, the wind has picked up here on the flat Riverside bed. We're about 600 miles due west of Milwaukee for the 51st edition of these championships, and it's the second live session on Compound Saturday. Now, the wind has played a big part here, but it was quiet this morning. The temperature has risen to a balmy 25 degrees at the beginning of fall here in South Dakota, but that wind has picked up seriously, and it is going to play a massive part in this competition. Our schedule for this second session on Compound Saturday features the men's individual compound competition. 4 quarterfinals. We're down to the Elite 8. We'll shoot off 4 places in the 2 semi-finals, and we will conclude with the bronze and the gold medal match. Our Elite 8 line up just like this. Some big names in there, perhaps none bigger than the man at the bottom, Mike Schlusser, Mr. Perfect from Netherlands, will be looking to get the title here in Yankton. I'm Karen Bashir, and joining me for this session is a very excited, a very excitable former world #1 Nicky Hunt. Mikey Schlosser, obviously the man that stands out there, along with the conditions here, which look very, very windy. Anyone else in the lineup that we should be keeping an eye out for, Nicky?
Well, we've got some great competitors all through there, 8 of them. So I think Matthias Fullerton, you know, he's a young 18-year-old. He's going to be exciting archer to watch.
On cue, it's time for quarterfinal #1. We have a lot of matches to get through in this session, and we start with the Frenchman Jean-Philippe Bouche against that man, Matthias Fullerton. Let's go down to the field of play.
Shooting on target #1, representing France, please welcome Jean-Philippe Bouche. Shooting on target #2, representing Denmark, Matthias Fullerton. World Archery line judge for this match is correct.
Well, Jean-Philippe Bouche from France is 30 years old, the world #15, up against the 18-year-old Dane Matthias Fullerton, who is the world #7. 5 ends, 3 arrows per archer per end. A cumulative score is what we're going for here. And Fullerton versus Bouche here for a place in the semi-finals. It's time. The compound men's individual quarterfinal #1. It will be Matthias Fullerton from Denmark to get us underway.
Conditions here this afternoon are going to play a massive part as to what's going to happen. The difference now, lulls.
Big JP opens with a 9 as well. $10 points. It's a draw. 10.
Well, matching each other through the first 4 arrows. They've got their sights in. That's a 29 for Fullerton's start.
Yes, mate.
Matched by JP Bouche. So nothing between these two. Conditions are going to be the talking point, I think, for the first couple of quarterfinals here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the inconsistency of it is the thing. You know, that first arrow Matthias came up was a really, really big gust, which moved him around massively, and then it lulled. So, you know, if there's a consistent wind, you kind of get used to it. You can move your sight if you need to, fine. But it's the variability of that wind that's going to make the biggest difference.
Yeah, archers can manage wind conditions if they're consistent, even if it's a full-blown gale. If it's consistent, it's fine. The French contingent there cheering on this man, JP Bush. But if the weather conditions and the wind are inconsistent, that's what causes the archers a massive problem. And it's predominantly with where to aim, isn't it?
It can be. I mean, for compound, it's more about trying to stay still when that wind is hitting you, because the arrows are going so fast out these bows that arrows aren't actually getting that much affected. We're at 50 metres, remember.
Well, all square, 29 apiece after end number 1. So it will be Fullerton to start end number 2.
Again, getting buffeted and blown around. It's going to be down to a bit of luck as to what you get in your 20 seconds where you have to shoot your arrow. The most notable thing about these two archers is the difference in stature. JP Bush is just a bigger frame. Is he more sturdy in the wind as well?
9,
Compounds only hold about 65% of the draw weight at full draw, so feels like you're getting blown around and not being able to hold anything. Really shaking there. Wow, still a 10. He's happy with that. Could have gone anywhere.
Dropping into 9 opens the door for JP Bush to level up here. We'll need a 10. You see these holds are just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you know, it's best if you can just to get your shots off as quickly as possible. If you are holding for a long time, you can get buffeted around, so obviously not happy with that shot there.
Well, provisional 27 could get marked up to a 28. It's exceptionally close. If it touches the line between two numbers, you will get the higher number. Well, it has been marked as an 8 for a 27 there, so it's going to be a 56 on the scoreboard for JP Bush. A 29 means a 58 for Fullerton, and the 18-year-old will have a 2-point lead after 2 ends of this quarter-final match. See anything in particular that of note in that last arrow from JP Bush?
I think he was just up there too long. He was getting moved around, and just came off the middle, didn't he? So, you've really got to commit to your shots, get up there, trust it, and just go with it.
So, start of the third end of this quarter-final match between Bush of France and Fullerton of Denmark. It will be Bush who's trailing to get us underway.
See the amount of weight these guys have got on their setups. Those silver weights on the back rod with Fullerton there. Takes a long time to build that up. Have the strength to be able to hold it still. That should help in the wind.
So Bush on for the first perfect of this quarter-final. And successfully delivers a 30. And into the 9, so we're all square now. 2 points grabbed back from JP Bush in the third end. 2 more to go, and there's nothing between Bush and Fullerton in the men's compound individual quarter-final here in Yankton. We look down the range at the measure here. I don't really see anything change. But what's intriguing now is because of the wind, a 2-point lead suddenly looks just a little bit smaller than it did a little bit earlier on today when the conditions were very, very calm.
Yeah, when you've got this variability, I mean, it really opens things up. If it's dead still, we're going to see much more of the high scores, only a point here or there dropped. So, yeah, it's a real opener when there is wind, and you've just got to stick with it, keep going all the way through, because you never know what's going to happen.
Time for end number 4 of 5. We're all square. Bush and Fullerton locked up on 86 apiece. It will be the Dane to get end number 4 underway.
A little bit of shaking through that hold. Got what he needed. Just coming off the back wall, GP.
Draw with 5 shots left to go in this match.
Yankton. Sada. Suba.
Only the second X of the entire match. And 9. Now the time's moving to 1 point advantage.
Didn't look a bad shot, but it looks like things have calmed down a little bit with the wind, and perhaps JP Bush didn't adapt and change his aim. Same story for Fullerton, a 29 for him. There's 115 on the scoreboard. Bit of pressure on Bush here to stay level here. Needs a 10.
It is a 9.
Looked like he tried to pull that one across, and a 28 for Bush means that he's dropped 1 behind, having clawed back the deficit in the previous end. 2 arrows, well 3 in fact, going left at the end. Explain.
Well, I think the wind was going right to left, so whether they've compensated for that previously, the wind's now dropped. Yeah, well, they're going slightly left. But with the compound, generally these guys probably aren't aiming off. You know, they're aiming at the goal. They might be bobbling, which means just tilting the bow a little bit. You can just see in the front of the scope at the bottom there's like a spirit level, a bubble. So they just tilt that over and they can aim off like that. It's probably the way most of the compounds aim off.
Well, if anything, it'll be Bush will be the more disappointed. He had 1 go left, his second one, and had another chance at it and just didn't correct enough. And in fact, tried a bit of bow quando on his last arrow as well to try and guide it back over to the right. But the Frenchman trails. We go into the 5th and final end, and it will be JP Bush to kick us off. He's got to fight back, 1 behind, 114 plays, 115.
See the timer clock there and the long shot ticking down. They've got 20 seconds to shoot these arrows.
Well, perfect so far from both of these archers. JP Bush made a very slight adjustment to his sight. pushing it right for a perfect 30. His first of the match. 144 is the target. A 10 required to make it through to the semi-finals for Matthias Fullerton. And he's hit the 10. It's his first 30 as well in this match, and that is a 145-144 victory for Matthias Fullerton of Denmark. He's in to the World Championship semi-finals. Oh, Nikki, it just came down, as it often does, to one arrow, an 8 in the second for JP Bush, and that was the difference.
Yeah, and it wasn't far out either, was it? You know, the judge took a good look at that to make sure it was an 8, and that's cost him the match really, but that's how tight these things are. Great shooting from Matthias. Let's see what he can do in his next match.
I'll take a look back over the match here. The shots that we get, the close-ups we get, are really for archery aficionados to see the intricacies, but if you're like me and watch this sport as just a pure fan, having never shot an arrow, you see all the bespoke elements of the bow for each of these archers, and of course you get the emotional reaction. Fullerton through to the semi-finals here at the 2021 World Championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Here come the athletes for the second compound men's individual quarterfinal match.
Time now for the compound men's quarter-final between Austria's Nico Venna and Mexico's Miguel Becerra.
Shooting on target number 2, representing Austria, Nico Venna.
The Austrian is 24 years old, world number 28, and has some experience on this shooting line, having shot in the team competition. Miguel Becerra also has that experience. The 21-year-old is the world number 70, and he experienced some real issues on this shooting line, having a miss registered on his scoreboard in the team event. Intriguing one, Nikki.
Yeah, we had some windy conditions yesterday, and it's going to be interesting to see if that comes back today and how he's going to handle it.
Well, first end of this quarter-final, and Nico Venna is going to get us underway.
10 on the line. Looks like it's it.
And you see that win flag and his t-shirt blowing now. Great start from him.
Well, the Austrian's a big man, but he was getting buffeted around there. A 28 is his starting score. Conditions are part to play, but a 29 for Dakota just shows that he's not only handled the difficult experience he had on this finals range earlier in the week, but also that he's handling the conditions out there, which look very gusty, Nikki.
Yeah, it is really tough trying to keep that bow still. Such a small target, 50 meters away. You know, compound not holding much weight on their fingers at that point, so you really feel everything hitting you, and you know, the stronger you can be, the better. You know, it's impossible to hold the bow still completely, but you've got to do the best you can.
Take a look back at Becerra's shots. Very happy with things, and he's had a tough ride through this competition, knocking out PJ Deloche of France, Jamie Lutz, the reigning world champion in the USA, and then Stephan Hansen from Denmark. So it's not been the easiest of rides here for Becerra. He's earned his place in the quarterfinals, and he's earned his lead here as we go into end number 2. Nico Venna will shoot first again.
Much more solid on that shot. Look, it's grouping though, all low right. Just going to move his sight as he does now. Okay, looks like he's shooting a hinge, just settling in. Good grouping, but you've got to move them over. Okay, so look at this release aid. See the angle it is now, settling into the shots. It starts to rotate.
10, 10, 10.
Fantastic shooting.
Yeah, perfect 30 for a 58. 10 will get 57. Right in the middle of the target for a 28. And just like that, the lead has changed hands. Becerra on 57, Venna on 58. Nikki, talk more about this hinge, because we often see the trigger release from these athletes on the thumb. Is it becoming less common?
There's a good mixture between people shooting hinge or a trigger. So Miguel is shooting a trigger. You can see his thumb go on to literally like a barrel he puts his thumb onto, and then makes the shot go off by squeezing that. Whereas Nico is definitely shooting a hinge, where you can see a real rotation in the release aid, and as it rotates, it's literally a hinge effect that makes the release aid go off. So two different styles. Hinge is quite difficult, can be quite difficult in the wind. You get buffeted around, you're not perhaps in complete control of when the shot's going to go, but that's usually a good thing. But in the wind, it can be a challenge.
Becerra led after the first, and the Austrian has fought back to lead after the second. We go into end number 3, and it will be Miguel Becerra of Mexico who will lead us out, trailing by a single point.
Okay, so you can watch his thumb there, going on to that barrel we talked about, that silver barrel, making that shot go off. Different here, different shape of the release aid. Just rotates it until it breaks. Moved around a bit again there, just dropping it low. Again, looked affected by the wind, but right in the middle.
Well, again, we're going to see the lead. Yeah, extend by Nico Venna. Take it from the front, and that another 30 from him. He's really dialed into the centre, Nicky, and he's starting to look like he's going to pull away as well.
Yeah, he's just settling into this, and it is tricky with these variable conditions, but he's handling it better. I think the judge is going over to perhaps talk about him drawing his bow. You know, they get 20 seconds, so you have to wait until the other archer's finished, the buzzer's gone, then your 20 seconds start. So I think it might be possible he's drawing a little bit perhaps on or before that buzzer goes off. So I think the judge just reminded him to go at the right time.
Well, keen to get out there and make his lead even bigger. Nico Venna pulled in by the referee. Well, we've seen the Austrian coach before. He seems to handle her athletes really well. And I mean, you know a thing about coaching, don't you? You've got a number of young athletes in Great Britain that you coach.
Yeah, you know, the coach's role there is really important to try and keep them nice and calm in the box. Just each and every arrow one at a time. No future thinking.
Time now for end number 4. Miguel Becerra of Mexico, trailing by 3 now, will shoot first.
10, 9, 8. Bien. Excelente.
Nico does a funny little action, doesn't he, just to get himself settled there into his anchor point. Doesn't matter how you get there, but it's the same every time.
Becerra here on for his first perfect. Looks like he's playing pretty much directly at him. Drops the arrow low for 29. It's 114 for him. Chance for a big lead here now, but the wind has really picked up. Didn't look happy, but that's the 3rd perfect in a row and a massive 4-point lead after 4 of the 5 ends. And it looks to me like Nico Venna is going to be marching his way into the semi-finals.
Nico did so well there. He really got hit by some wind, buffed it around. I think he did just manage to hang on that little bit longer, waited it for it to settle, and then made a really good shot in those conditions, and within that 20 seconds, crucially.
Well, you can not only see the wind conditions here, you can hear them. We are right next to the mighty Missouri River, and it's very, very flat around the river at this part in South Dakota, in Yankton. Riverside Park sits in this beautiful location, but is buffeted by the wind when it picks up as it drives its way down the longest river in North America. But it does make for interesting archery, that's for sure. Nico Venna 4 points up here and has 1 foot in the semi-finals. Becerra has no choice, he's just got to put the pressure on as we start in number 5.
9.
Well, in these conditions, anything can happen, so you just got to stick with it. Never looking happy with that shot as it breaks, but he's doing a great job, Nico. Wow. Long hold. Weather got worse, but he still managed to get it into the 10.
Well, he's just clipped the line there, and he's on for a tremendous score here, Venna. Dakota tops his last one into the 9 for a 28, and a 138. And, well, unless something terrible happens here, Nico Venna is going into the semi-finals at these World Championships. And finishes with a brilliant score, dropping just 2 points through his 15 arrows. 4 perfects in a row in ends 2 through to 5. And a warm handshake from Miguel Dakota of Mexico for the Austrian, who goes into the semi-finals here in Yankton. Cracking score, Nikki.
Really was, you know, dropping 2 points in these conditions. Absolutely fantastic shooting. So let's see if he can keep it together through the semi.
You just see those 2 high 9s, high left 9s. Becerra started so well, took the lead in fact, but Austria's Nico Venna is here, and he means business. Well, the wind will keep them cool, that's for sure. And it is a balmy 25 degrees, so I'm pretty sure he'll be going off for a cool one before his semi-finals, Nico Venna, as we wait for the next quarter-final.
It's time to find our third semi-finalist. Who is it going to be? Well, we're about to find out. Please welcome the coaches and judges who will play next time.
Time now for quarterfinal number 3 here at the Yankton World Championships of 2021. And we have a cracking lineup for this quarterfinal. Let's go down for the athlete introductions.
The world champion from the Great White North, representing Canada, this is Christopher Perkins.
So enough of the teas. This is a big lineup here. Robin Yatmar from Estonia is 20 years old. He's just the world number 41, but comes off the back of winning the World Youth Championships in Poland just a few short weeks ago. Individual and mixed team for Yatmar in Rocklaw there. And he goes up against a former world champion from Canada. Christopher Perkins took the world title in 2011 and is back to try and claim it again. Time for this quarter-final. Canada's Perkins, the former world champion, will get us underway.
Points to start.
Again, the wind's going to play a factor in this match. Both archers going a little high left. Christopher being a bit more lucky of the two. See that movement on the bow. Gotta try and hold it still as you can, but a wider one.
Well, solid start from Perkins. 28 is pretty good in these conditions. And we'll see him in the lead after the first end. After a somewhat slow start from Yatmar. He impressed at the World Youth Championships. And he salvaged a 27 here. Look, well, let's come back to Yatmar. We've got plenty of time to talk about him. He's just 20 years old. But the 29-year-old Christopher Perkins making a comeback after winning the World Championships in 2011. Is that normal?
You know, I guess that's the great thing about archery. You know, we have 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds competing in the Olympic Games, and you can have someone in that age compete against 16, 17, 18-year-old, and it's one of the best things about our sport, I think.
I think you say that he's not competed in the World Championships for 6 years, so it's not that he stopped shooting, he's just not been up at those high levels. Yeah,
I believe, you know, he goes into America fairly regularly, shooting a lot of big competitions through America. So for him, he's got the best hope of this kind of being home soil. We've got no Americans in this final 8, so he is the closest to that we have.
Yeah, and he's not a million miles away from home, 500 miles north to Winnipeg in Canada, just over the border. And he leads this quarter-final against Estonia's Robin Yatmar.
Quite a difference in that front stabiliser with these two. Christopher shooting with like a drop down front long rod, just distributes the weight of the bow a little bit lower, can make that hold a little bit easier, whereas Robin here is just shooting a straight long rod, all the weight on the end of it. See that offset angle down in this one. Actually surprised no one's come out so far with a wind bar. A lot of archers will come out with much shorter long rod with the weight stacked on in these conditions just to help it not get blown around like this.
And a 9, so we've got a draw. Just like turkey. Turkey all over again. Literally, yeah. This match.
Well, we see there's a great deal of banter and camaraderie between Perkins and his coach, referring to a competition in Turkey, I think. Perhaps Antalya, the windy conditions there.
Antalya, right next to the beach. Always windy. Great tournament. But always interesting. both archers get a bit frustrated, but they've just got to stick with it.
Yeah, solid first end from Perkins, matched as a solid second end from Yatmar. Consistency, the order of the day with this sport. And they're both on 54s through different routes, and nothing between them as we go into the third end of 5. It will be Chris Perkins to shoot first again.
Real leant back posture, front shoulder up.
X-ring almost killed the spider on that one. Right there.
Very different from our recurve counterparts.
And 10. Tied up, 8 shots to go. Good. 10. Solid at 4.
Dear. It's another one pulled over to the left, and it's always the middle arrow.
Yeah, he does seem to be struggling with that middle one. I can't see a reason why it would be that one. It's usually the easiest of the 3 to shoot.
Well, perfect for Perkins is going to mean that he will lead after 3. Curious, it's that middle arrow all the time. Highest score so far for Robin Yatmar, but he trails by 2 now. Well, Nikki, you're here for your expert opinion. Tricky, I agree. The middle arrow logically would be the one that's going to be the easiest to shoot, but why is it that all of them have gone into the 8s, and more so, why is it they've all gone left of centre?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely saw an imbalance in him. You know, most shots he's holding a nice even balance. You see the front arm and back arm break apart from each other, whereas that one kind of moved in a slightly different direction. So he's obviously losing some sort of pressure. Watch this one here. That was the one. See? Do you see that kind of movement of his front shoulder, almost a twist of the body? So something wasn't quite right in the balance of the shot. Watch this one. Nice, kind of clean break, front and back moving away from each other. So definitely a clear difference. I can only see a mental reason why that one's different from the others for Robin.
Well, 3 ends of 5 complete here. We go into the 4th. Robin Yatmar trailing by 2 will shoot first. Needs to start his fight back right now.
Just 9. Single point separating these 2 now.
They both look like they're shooting hinges, both with thumbs off pegs, just pulling. Can be really tricky in these gusty conditions. Thumb off the peg, keep pulling to the brakes.
And leads 9 draws, 10 points. Good. 1 point lead for Chris Perkins.
Great time to pull out a perfect for Robin Yatmar. He's pulled 1 at least back here. It is in fact 2 with the first 28 from Perkins. A pair of them will be tied up on 112 points each going into the 5th and final regulation end. Interesting between these two, you talked about the leaning back style that the Canadian has had. When you compare it to Yatmar, he's very flat. We've got a really nice shot on that his last arrow there. He's very flat with his shoulders and his chin as well.
Yeah, a bit more alignment. So we do see a lot of compounders starting to lean back, and I guess, you know, look at the weight stacks they're on these bows, so they're kind of counterbalancing all that weight. very different from recurve, where we have to keep posture, we have to have alignment. If we leant back like that, we'd end up with a string on the archer's chest. So, in compound, you've got that freedom really to move your body around a little bit more. But I mean, his front shoulder's very high. How much stability he's got there. I mean, he's shooting pretty well for it.
Well, he's given up a 2-point lead, Christopher Perkins. And we go into the 5th and final regulation end, at least. 3 arrows left to decide at this quarterfinal.
Immediately trying to pick up the bow. He knew it was aimed low when it went off. Couldn't do anything about it.
Door open for the new World Youth Champion, and he takes advantage of the situation.
Got away with that one. He didn't like the shot at all, clipping the line.
Yatmar in the lead for the very first time. Drops it into the 9, and so they're all square again. So that lead was fleeting for the Estonian. Another one he didn't look happy with, and there is an opportunity for Robin Yatmar, a 10 to make it through to the World Championship semi-finals, and it is a 10 for Robin Yatmar. He trailed throughout the match, but he's done just enough. You need to be in the lead after 15 arrows, and that is exactly what Robin Yatmar has done. He's made it through to the World Championship semi-finals here in Yankton. He trailed right the way through, but he remained stoic in his approach.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty, was it, from either of them? Difficult conditions, tricky, both trying to shoot hinge. Well, the conditions kept changing. Look at the weight stack on that back bar he's got there, and he kept his head down, he kept going with it, and that is the result.
Well, there you have it. We'll take a look back. Chris Perkins, who won the 2011 World Championships in Turin, showed some of the great form he showed there 10 years ago to make it through to the Elite 8, but not enough, says Robin Yatmar. A low-scoring quarter-final, but all you need to do is be in the lead at the end, and that's exactly what Robin Yatmar has done, and he's through to the semi-finals in Yankton, South Dakota. Well, the weather conditions have been tricky through the first 2 and a bit quarterfinals here, but as you can see, blue skies, and the windsock is at rest at the moment. There's a little bit of a breeze, but it's looking fairly consistent as we prepare for the 4th of the men's compound quarterfinals. Time now for the 4th of the men's compound quarterfinals.
On target, number 1, representing India, the legend, Venna. On target, number 2, they call him Mr. Perfect, representing the Netherlands is Mike Schlusser.
Well, 2 legends of the sport. 32-year-old Indian world number 9 Abhishek Verma, who's going to take on Mr. Perfect, who's 27 and the world number 1, Mike Schlusser from the Netherlands. 8 World Championship medals he has, Mr. Perfect. Nikki, this has got to be the toughest of the 4 quarterfinals here in Yankton.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight match, definitely. I mean, can Mr. Perfect live up to his name?
Time to get the quarterfinal underway between Schlosser and Verma, and it's the Dutch archer who will get us underway. Well, conditions have settled, and both of these archers are capable of some very big scores when the conditions are like this. Ooh, bit of a wobble there, but a perfect start for Sir Perfect.
Nine.
28 for Verma. Bit of nerves?
Yeah, I think so. Look, his coach just trying to calm him down. You know, stick to the process, stick to those shots, talk him through it. He knows he's got a hard task against Mr. Perfect.
Get a good look at Michael Schlosser. There's the wobble on that last one. What was that all about?
I think he kind of thought it was going to go perhaps left and then tried to pull it back in, but he probably didn't need to do anything.
Let's have a look at his equipment there. Mark Schlosser. Trying just to keep his calm in check, isn't he? He's trying to just stay very steady, very still, and not worry about, one, he's in a quarterfinal at the World Championships, and two, he's up against someone who is renowned for high-scoring archery. Start of the second end, Abhishek Verma trailing Mike Schlosser by 2.
Just see from that back view through the scope, Mikey Schlosser has got a little red fibre pin to aim with. Again, very leant back posture. Look at all that weight on his bow.
Good response from Verna for a perfect 30. Mentioned weight, Nikki, where should people be looking if they don't know where the weight is?
On those rods, that long rod at the front, the side rod, it's all black, but plenty of weight stacked up on there.
A perfect from Mr. Perfect again. He's on a total of 60 out of 60 and still leads by 2. Nikki, you talked about weight. Why have they got weight on the bow? What is it for?
So we've got a long rod at the front, and we've got, you know, side rods. So some people compound have one side rod, which is usually the opposite side to their sight. So for a right-handed archer from the left, some archers choosing to have like twin rods as well, much like the recurve. So like, if you imagine a tightrope walker, you know, have like a balance, wouldn't they, to keep their balance. So the same thing with these stabilizers. It just helps keep the bow nice and still when the archer's trying to aim. And you know, these guys are, most of these guys are pro. They are shooting full time. They're able to train so hard and put all this weight on their bow, and they can handle the weight, and that helps them keep the bow still. But for someone new to the sport, you know, that's something you build up very, very slowly over time, just ounce by ounce. If you're shooting regularly, obviously you can up it, but too much weight, you're looking at possible injury, you're looking at a really unsteady bow anyway. So, you know, certainly not something to be recommended for your average club archer.
Well, The weight of the world is on the shoulders of Abhishek Verma here. We start in number 3 and he trails Mike Schlosser by 2.
Fibre pin glowing in his scope. Got a magnified lens in there as well.
Still hasn't missed the centre of the target. Verma's dialed into the centre. Both of these archers shoot with both of their eyes open. I know that probably isn't that unusual, but we have seen quite a few archers shooting with one eye closed. Why is that? What is it? Is it just personal, literally personal preference?
It can depend a bit on the archer, so it depends on how much dominance you've got. If you're very right eye dominant, it's easy then to keep you up both eyes open as a right-handed archer, but if there's a switch or you're left eye dominant and you're trying to shoot right-handed, then yes, that's why sometimes we see an archer close their left eye as a right-hander.
So 90 out of 90 for Mike Schlosser, just 2 points dropped for Verma in the first end. And will those 2 lines be the difference at the end of this match? Because both of them don't look like they're going to miss the centre at all at the moment. Well, whilst we wait for the agents to retrieve the arrows, can I ask you a question, a scientific question, Nicky? I'm sure you can apply some anecdotal evidence to your response. You talk about a right-handed archer shutting their left eye. Now, don't you need 2 eyes to perceive depth?
Yes, both eyes do help judge distance, but they're shooting at 50 metres, right? It's not changing. So in target archery, it's probably not a factor. If you were a field archer, that might make more difference because we have marked rounds, we have unmarked rounds, so you have to judge the distance as well. So probably more key in field archery.
Very good answer. Turned out to be a very intelligent question as well, which is a bit of a surprise. Not by design, trust me. We go into the 4th end here. Abhishek Verma still trailing by those 2 points.
A little bit of movement. Just letting it float around though. Look at it, happy with it. Breaking just as he wants him to. Solid, nice hold.
Well, it's just 10 after 10 from Mike Schlosser. Now, I wonder when Abhishek Verma is going to start thinking, oh, if only I wasn't so nervous with my first 3 arrows, I could really be in this one, because he only dropped 2 points in that first end. Is it going to start playing a part? Oh, well, Mike Schlosser dropped the ball at some point. It doesn't look that way. 120 out of 120. One thing that I'd say Abhishek Verma has to be keeping his head on for and thinking about is that, I don't know, remember, I can't tell you the number of times I've seen Mikey Schlosser shoot 14 10s in a row only to drop the last arrow. Now, Verma's got to be thinking about that. He's got to be hoping he drops 2 arrows or drops 2 points in 1 arrow. I can't see that happening. But 2 arrows, 1 point each, puts Verma back in this. Odds, or am I pulling a string here?
I totally agree in that, like, so many times we've seen Mikey just not shoot a comfortable shot on that last one. Sometimes it's a 10, sometimes it's not. I mean, him dropping 2 points right now is unlikely, but all Verma needs to do is stick to the process, stick to this 1 arrow, each arrow of these 3, to get the job done.
Well, just like that, maybe to help him, the wind has picked up again, just for this final end. Windsock blowing directly at them. Is it going to give Verma a chance? Trails by 2 going into the 5th.
Ooh.
Wow. What did you say? There's no way he's going to drop 2 points? What on earth happened there?
It wasn't my fault.
Just when he gets given a chance, he can only capitalise on one of the drop points from Mike Schlusser. Back in the 10 for the Dutch archer. Verma's got to be back in the 10 here to give himself any kind of chance.
Look at the group though, great group, just a little bit right.
10 for the win and a place in the semi-finals for Mike Schlusser. He's dropped 2 points in one arrow, but he's banged that last arrow straight into the 10. Finishes on a 148, but crikey, that first arrow in the 5th end was a big surprise for everyone, including Mike Schlusser, but he's done enough to make it through to the semi-finals here in Yankton. He's beaten Abhishek Verma 148 to 147. Well, he shot a magical 12 arrows in a row into the 10. And then the 13th arrow, well, do we know what happened?
I think the wind was definitely blowing, maybe a loss of concentration, a doubt in his mind, and yeah, it was kind of like the 15th arrow, but a bit early. And then he completely settled, didn't he, by the last arrow? Not a problem. Great shooting again by Mike Schlusser, but a bit lucky on that last end after all.
The wind affected that that second arrow, I should say, from Abhishek Verma as well, because he'd been in the 10s since the second end. But Mikey Schlusser did enough in the early stages and held on for his place in the semi-finals here at the 2021 World Archery Championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is watching. Who do you love? Let's hear it for Denmark, Austria, Estonia, and Netherlands. Oh, you can see the Netherlanders set the most wild people. Netherlands, Austria, Denmark, Estonia, Denmark, Netherlands, Denmark, Netherlands. You be judge. Who do you think won that one just now? Denmark, Netherlands. It's time to find our first finalist of this 2021 Archery World Championships. Please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play. Now let's
Time now for the first men's semi-final here at the 2021 World Archery Championships. Let's go down to the field of play for the team introductions.
Representing Denmark, it is Matthias Fullerton. Shooting on target number 2, representing Austria, Nico Venna.
Well, representing Team Denmark, it's 18-year-old Matthias Fullerton, number 7, and for Team Austria, it's Nico Venna, the 24-year-old, number 28. An all-European semi-final lineup, both semi-finals featuring athletes parking from Europe. Nikki, another 2 young athletes that have started to make their mark over the last couple of years.
Yeah, particularly Matthias in the last year. Senior debut 2021. It's going pretty well.
Matthias Fullerton of Denmark will get this semi-final underway, a place in the World Championship final up for grabs for the winner.
Look at his scope now, perhaps the light hitting it, glaring from the bubble. A little spirit level underneath.
10 points X-ray.
Let's go. Femden.
Just looked a little bit uncomfortable towards the end of that, getting counted down. Got to have the confidence to make that shot break a bit sooner.
You saw the reaction on the face of Nico Venna. Lost his balance?
I think, you know, we had a few of those in the round before, and whether he's just not aiming in the right place and it breaks or losing some balance, yeah.
Perfect start from Fullerton. Back into the middle for Venna. Curious middle arrow going into the 8 for him. Fullerton, at just 18 years old, is looking very composed for a World Championship semi-final.
I thought he looked a bit shaky as he just drank his drink, actually, but yeah, I think 18-year-old, how much pressure is there on you? And you know, he's done so well already this year. There's no real expectation of anyone. He's superseded anything that anyone probably thought was possible, but he needs to keep those ones under control. Came back strongly with the third.
So what could have gone wrong with that second arrow? What are the options?
Not aiming in the right place. Like you just pull in and pull in and pull in, and it just wanders off the goal and it breaks, which is so frustrating. Or a lack of balance. It was really interesting when he first draws up, because he kind of really settles in a bit of a strange way. Most people draw in the boat, you know, get the tension on that back wall and never lose it, keep that balance. But it's a really interesting draw.
Well, Nico Venna trails by 2, will shoot fast in end number 2.
Go with 10 X-ray.
Let's go. Femden.
Ties with 10.
Start til venstre.
Ties Fullerton enjoying a 2-point lead right now.
Almost comes off the stops and then goes back on again, which is a strange way to build up a shot, but
10 X-ray, hit the first arrow.
Let's go. Femden.
Always seems sort of bouncing up and down a little bit with a bit of tremor, a bit of nerves, I think.
Close match. Triple X, 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 X.
Brilliant.
First goal.
That's the best shooting we've seen here on compound Saturday. So 29 from Fullerton puts him on at 59 points and gives him a 1-point lead, but a tremendous comeback after the 8 from Nico Venna from Austria, shooting not just 3 10s but 3 X's right in the middle of the target. We're right by the river here. As we start to move from afternoon towards the evening, we've got a new factor, a new variable to deal with, and that's the midges coming off the river for feeding time. I don't know whether you saw them there in the shot. It's very clear that they are swarming around the targets at the moment. After that drop 9, Fullerton found the centre of the target again, but very impressive 3 arrows from Nico Venna. He trails now by 1 point and will start the shoot in the third end.
Nice and still. Conditions are good. He's looking solid. Another fibre pin in that sight. You can see it wrapped around the scope. Okay, shooting just a little dot on his lens.
X10.
Let's go. Finden.
You could just see the difference in the balance of that broke, you know, that movement, the twist of the body.
X.
7 great arrows in a row for Nico Venna, and that's the second perfect from him for an 88. He is definitely going to be at least on level terms at the end of the third. And he actually takes the lead because that's a 29 from Matthias Fullerton. He drops him now to an 87 points in the third, and that means that Venna is in the lead with more than half of this semi-final done. Curiously, it's the middle arrow again that's causing the problem.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason for that, really. It's just one of those things. I probably think the first arrow or the last arrow of the end is a harder arrow mentally, you know, to start off and to finish up certainly, but I don't think of any reason why they're struggling with these middle ones.
When it comes to compound archery, Denmark is a country of legends. Besides Matthias Fullerton, Stephan Hansen, World Champion, Mark Dansko, many other luminaries in compound archery hail from Denmark.
Well, we get a look at what Nico Venna's processes in between third and fourth ends. If anything, you'd want to go and put your arm around him. He looks like he's very upset, but clearly he's just trying to focus himself, isn't he?
Being as calm as possible in this sport is the best thing, well, for most people.
Well, Matthias Fullerton needs to be calm here. He's trailing by a single point now. Shoots first and in number 4.
Pass with a 9 on that shot.
Something is not quite right.
I think it's just nerves and balance, you know, just those shots going off into the 9, they just look slightly unbalanced on the release.
Grimace, but into the 10. It was a long hold.
Yeah, but it looked balanced, didn't it? Nice follow through.
Conditions calm again. That's why we're getting these excellent scores. Another Grimace. And into the 9.
4 shots to go. 1 point difference in favor of Nico from Austria. 9.
Door open again with a 28 for Matthias Fullerton. 117 possible here with a 10 for Nico Venna. Didn't look happy with any of those. He's got a 29 out of 30 and he's got a 117 and a 2-point lead going into the 5th. He looks fairly steady there, Venna, but didn't look happy at all with any of those.
No, he's really shooting through gritted teeth, isn't he? But it must just be that internal feeling. He's not just quite happy with how the shots are feeling as a break-in, but the majority of them are going pretty steadily into the 10. Just the odd one losing out to the edges.
Get a good shot of the arrow in flight. Much flatter arrows for compound archery compared to recurve. And when I mean flatter, not the arrow itself is flatter, the flight of the arrow is not as much of an arc as there will be with a 70-meter recurve arrow. And a good look at the release aid there.
Yep, just a standard hinge.
So time for the 5th and final, well, certainly regulation end here in this semi-final. Matthias Fullerton of Denmark trailing by 2 points to Nico Venna of Austria.
Sådan. Super skud. Har ikke været helt nede i maven her. Værsgo.
2 shots remaining.
15. 10, 9, 8, 7.
9.
Again, bit of imbalance. Off into the 9.
Chance here to take a bit of pressure off by extending his lead further. And he does just that, but again the grimace is there. He is battling through this. It seems to be victory for Venna. Last arrow for Fullerton. Pops it into the 10 for a 29 finish. A 144, which means just an 8 is required for the win for the Austrian. And there is the outpouring of emotion. His 3rd perfect 30 and a 147 for Nico Venna sees the Austrian make it through to the World Championship final here in Yankton. It will be a bronze medal playoff for Matthias Fullerton, and the Austrian will be going for gold a little bit later here in Yankton. Oh, good score there for Nico Venna, but he just didn't look at all happy, did he, Nicky?
He didn't, you know, arrows breaking in him, just gritting his teeth all the way through that match. Obviously something's not feeling quite right for him. I wonder if it's a bit of glare coming down from the sun and just getting in his eyes, I don't know, but you know, 147 in a little bit tricky conditions, really good result for him.
Well, I'll take a look back over the match. Matthias Fullerton starting so well, just started to fall apart in the third, fourth and fifth ends. Lost his rhythm, his process, and it was a win in the end through gritted teeth for Nico Venna of Austria. He'll go on to compete for the gold medal. We now need to find out who he's going to face.
Now, please welcome the athletes to the field of play.
Time now for the compound men's individual semi-final here at the World Championships between Mike Schlosser of the Netherlands and Robin Yatmar of Estonia. I think we all know who the favourite is for this one.
Number 1 representing Estonia, Robin Yatmar. Shooting on target number 2, representing Netherlands, is Mike Schlosser. World Archery Long judge for this match is Liz Perry.
Nikki, Schlosser, he's got to be the odds-on favourite, not just for this, but also for the gold medal here. Yatmar got nothing to lose, so no pressure on him.
Yeah, it's certainly a way to look at it. It's a good way to look at it for Yatmar. You know, Schlosser, world number 1, Mr. Perfect, but that brings pressure too.
Look at those flags at the end of the left-hand side of the range here. Wind has picked up, as you can see behind Mike Schlosser, who's going to get the match underway. This for a place in the World Championship final. Is that tickling the line?
I think it will just be on the line. He wasn't very happy with it.
And 9. Okay. Excellent.
Looks so solid with that wind blowing around him. Fibre pin. Might be shooting with.
Perfect start for Mike Schlosser.
And 9.
Well, caressing around the 10 ring. It's a 27 for Yatmar, and a 3-point lead from Mike Schlosser. You know, difficult conditions when you face Mike Schlosser normally, but if you give away 3 points in the first end, surely you. I mean, it's not time to put your bow down and walk off, but you can just take all the pressure off now, surely.
Yeah, you know, he's just got to relax into this match. I don't know if he's ever come up against Schlosser before, but you know, what an opportunity coming out of the Youth World Championships, individual and mixed team gold medals, and you know, it's a big step up to face Mr. Perfect.
Now, just to be clear to our audience, we haven't called him Mr. Perfect. That's how he's known on the circuit, because he is so close to perfection. He very rarely misses. It's a surprise. Well, it certainly was a surprise in the quarterfinals when he hit an 8.
I think his record on a 720, you know, 72 arrows and maximum score 720 is 717.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
roughly with a dozen arrows to go.
Robin Yatmar from Estonia is here in this World Championships semi-final. He's up against Mike Schlosser, the favourite for the world title, trailing by 3, so he will shoot first, and you've got to say the pressure has got to be off him now.
9.
They're just struggling to find the centre of the target.
You just wouldn't even know that there's wind going on around Mike Schlosser. So solid.
8 points.
Yatmar just struggling to settle down in this finals field today. Oh,
9.
go Kondo, but didn't get it in there for him.
You know what? My Estonian's not perfect, far from it, but I think the coach had a little bit of a strong word there with Robin Yatmar. I'm not suggesting that she used any kind of foul language. I just meant, oh, another one, another wobble, but he's got enough of the lead at 28, shouldn't really bother him too much. 58 plays 54. I think the coach then used initiative and her knowledge in the relationship she has with Robin Yatmar to say, hey, look, come on, sort this out. That's enough.
Yeah, there's times where you just have to, you know, buck your ideas up, isn't it, and just do the best you can. He's obviously struggling with the conditions. What bothers me more is not that 9 that Schlosser just shot, but the little flinch before it, before the arrow went off. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes with this.
He's got a 4-point buffer as we look at the demons that Estonia's facing. After that sharp word from his coach, banged it into the 10.
See that little flinch there?
So that's something to look out for. 4-point lead for Mr. Perfect, who's shot far from perfect in the second end. The lead is still his. Let's see what we can get out of Robin Yatmar here. Maybe he can take some comfort from the fact that Schlosser's having a few issues on target number 2.
He's making this look easier than it is. I mean, the amount of wind that's hitting him and around him there, and he's just so solid.
Did he just say X, just as he let go of the arrow?
No.
I think he did, you know. How confident he is.
And you know it's broken, and you got that perfect feeling of it just coming out your hands. You know it's going to go in the middle.
You look at the flags and you look at the wind, you said it already, everything else is moving around him, but somehow Schlosser is just defying the wind.
9.
Just not happy today. After a curious couple of 9s in the last end, Mike Schlosser is back on a perfect 30 and has extended his lead by 2. We have 2 more ends to go here, and it's looking like Schlosser is the one that's going to be shooting for the world title a little bit later on here in South Dakota. So Nikki, is it the aura of this man that is causing the problems for Yatmar? He's kind of come out here already convinced he's not going to win.
I don't know, Yatmar didn't look that comfortable in the quarters. Yes, he came through, but just didn't look 100% confident in his shots. So, you know, look at the pressure, look at what's at stake. This is a World Championship title, and he's young. He's just come out of the youth World Champs, but it's a big step up, and windy conditions. It's not easy.
Not easy in normal conditions, not easy when it's windy like this, and even worse if you're facing Mike Schlosser. Robin Yatmar battling some demons at the moment. He's on 82 points and will start the fourth end here, having some trouble getting his arrow onto the rest as well.
9. Or 9 is on the line.
Another wild one from Mike Schlosser. It looks like it's on the line. Marked as an 8 for now. I think that will get pumped up to a 9 though.
Did look pretty close, but I think it was just the wind. You know, the shot looked good. He didn't make any big movements. Just got pushed off the gold again.
Over adjusting there that time perhaps?
Maybe. It's so variable out there, isn't it?
9.
28 for 110. Robin Yatmar. Well, provisionally marked as a 26. I fancy I'll get marked up to a 27. So that's a gain in points for the Estonian. Just the one. Unless, of course, that 8 remains an 8. Wait for the measure, and there's conversation going on between Schlosser and coach. Target judge having a good look at this one. So perhaps it's not as clear cut as I thought. It is an 8. So it stays as a 114 for Mike Schlosser, and Robin Yatmar's gained 2 points. Take a look back at some of those shots. It's not been plain sailing, it's certainly not been perfection from Mike Schlosser. Dropped 2 points in the second, and he's dropped 3 in the fourth. Robin Yatmar trailing though as he does, will shoot first in the fifth and final end. I think it's going to take some kind of miracle for him to make it through to the gold medal match, but he has got to be thinking as a losing semi-finalist he will have one more chance at the podium here. So a chance to try and sort out some of his issues here in end number 5.
But a nicer shot. Quicker timing.
The conditions have settled just a little bit. So both of the archers now pinging it into the 10. Yatmar finishing with a confidence boosting perfect 30. He'll be certainly getting to the bronze medal match. Schlosser needing a 6. Gets a 9 for a 29 finish and a 144 to make it through into the World Championship final here in Yankton. Tricky moments for both the archers, more so of course for Yatmar, but it wasn't plain sailing for Mr. Perfect, was it?
Not at all. You know, it definitely is tricky conditions out there, definitely things moving around. You know, these guys make it look a lot easier than it is for many of us to try and shoot in similar conditions. So great shooting from both. Mike Schlosser coming out on top.
Well, he's through to the gold medal match, Mike Schlusser. It's the lowest score he's had throughout the knockout phase of the competition, but a 144 was enough for him to make it through to gold. We will see Robin Yatmar very shortly in the bronze medal playoff.
Things have always been a little greener here in South Dakota, with big skies and even bigger dreams. From across the world, one historic event brings us together in a land of great faces and places as we celebrate those aiming for greatness.
Time now to sort out the medals here in the compound men's individual. We take a look at the tail of the tape. We're starting with the bronze medal match. It was Matthias Fullerton who fell away from Nico Venna at the top semi-final, and we've just seen Robin Yatmar lose out to Mike Schlusser of the Netherlands. So Fullerton will face Yatmar for bronze, and then we will go for gold with Venna and Schlusser.
Now, two athletes fighting for one spot on the podium. Please welcome the competitors for the compound men's individual bronze medal match.
Time now for the bronze medal match here in Yankton, South Dakota, at Riverside Park. The losing semi-finalists need to buck up their ideas.
Number one representing Denmark is Matthias Fullerton. Representing Estonia on target number 2, please welcome once again Robin Yatmar.
Well, the pair of these athletes, Matthias Fullerton from Denmark and Robert Yatmar from Estonia, were neighbours in the Scandinavian Baltic region of Europe. Very young contenders, just 18 years old, Matthias Fullerton, just 20, Robin Yatmar, but they have burst onto the scene. There's the support for Robin Yatmar's sister in the crowd, cheering him on. He's going to need everything here. In fact, both of them do. Losing semi-finalists, this is arguably the toughest of matches in international sport, the playoff for a bronze medal at the World Championships.
Yankton. Yep, leo mitsi.
10 points.
Both these archers struggled a little bit in their semi-finals. Yatmar not had much time to think about his.
10, excellent.
Let's go.
Sometimes the best way.
Yankton.
A bit of movement with the wind. Difficult to hold on.
6, 5, 4, 3.
8 points out the top.
Just running out of time. We've got 20 seconds to get those arrows away, and Just couldn't get it to go off soon enough.
9.
Værsgo. 15. 10. 9.
Getting hit by this wind.
9.
4.
27, not a bad score given the conditions. There's chance for a 2-point lead after one, and Robin Yatmar has taken that very comfortably. 29 for the Estonian, handling the conditions a lot better. Now, both of these athletes had to battle some demons in their semi-finals. Looks like Yatmar, who's had less time to recover from his shooting in the second semi-final, he looks like he's come out and he's a different archer.
It's the first time I've seen him smile since he won his quarter-final. You know, relaxing now, going to make a big difference.
Look at the comfort with which Yatmar put that into the 10, that final arrow, and he really struggled against Schlüsser in his semi-final. But all of a sudden, just a few minutes later, there's a different archer out there leading things. Matthias Fullerton needs to take a leaf out of his book and find the composure in this second end, where he'll shoot first.
15. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Long hold again, but he looked much more solid, didn't he, through that one? And a little nod of the head, knowing it was going to go into the 10. Really getting hit by the wind now.
And 8.
Let's go.
We have draw.
15. 10, 9, 8. Ja, sådan. God tider.
Right, he's blown away his nerves here. Matthias Fullerton, as the wind is blowing them both around.
9.
A correction up to a 9 here, and I think we're going to find ourselves in a very tasty position as we get to the closing stages of this bronze medal match. No one has quite taken control of it yet.
9.
9 leaves the door open for Robin Yatmar to remain on level terms. Needs a 10 though. 8, 9, bang, into the 10 for Yatmar. 56 apiece. Nicky, we've got a good one here, I think.
It is so tough out there. I think it's a bit of a luck of the draw sometimes as to what wind is going to come your way when you have 20 seconds to shoot, your arrow comes up.
Yeah, and Fullerton, after a difficult start, has found a little bit of rhythm, found his mojo again. Yatmar just getting hit with that wind on the first arrow, wasn't he? And I think he did manage to correct. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, you know, the skill in these guys is crazy, you know, getting hit by so much wind and even just being able to keep on a face is really good work, so they always make it look easier than it is.
Changeable conditions here. But there's nothing between these two bronze medal contenders. Matthias Fullerton and Robin Yatmar go into end number 3, and it's the Dane who will shoot first.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Just seems to get windier as that buzzer goes off, doesn't it? really well with it.
And a 9.
I love the arrow. Really getting moved a bit.
Lead going back and forth.
15. 10. Ja, god ekstra. Stærkt. Super. Dejligt tempo.
Ties to the 9. Excuse me, Robbie. To the 9.
Værsgo. 15.
Difficult start for Matthias Fullerton, on for a perfect here in the third.
8.
He pushes it out to the 8 for
Der
a
er taget
28.
2 sekunder til skuddet.
He's late, and a bit of disgust here. Another chance here for Yatmar to remain on level terms. Moving around all over the shop though, but does get it onto the 10 ring just about, and he has remained level on 84. There is just nothing between these two at the moment. And to be honest with you, it's hard to say who is going to take advantage here. It looked there in the last two ends that Fullerton was actually going to start to pull away, only to throw points away with the last arrow.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing. You know, he's looking stronger, more solid, and then the third arrow, to be fair to him, he's just getting hit by the wind, and he's there too long, he's hanging on to it, moving around, when he just needs to get up there and make quick, good execution as, you know, fast as he can, really, in a good way. To get it away, don't be hanging around up there at full draw, getting buffeted by the wind, losing energy.
You always got to look for patterns in sport, and both these archers have shot at 27, 28 and 29. It's the order that makes the difference though here. Fullerton starting with the 27, going up to a 29 and back down to a 28. It's been a 29, 27, 28 for Yatmar, so perhaps he's the one that's creeping back into a bit more form. Time for end number 4, and it will be Fullerton to shoot first again.
9 points.
Helt lige ude lavt til venstre. Jeg er helt ned med ham.
Conditions are much better there, more solid.
Interesting to see where the light is hitting them, but both of them with peak caps. So passes for Fullerton. Look at Yatmar, just the shadow is just a little bit higher up his face. Maybe the sun is going to start to affect things here.
9 points.
Værsgo. 15. 10. 9. 8. Super! Sådan.
Another 29 for Fullerton. Still can be matched by Yatmar.
Draw and on the line.
It looks like it's just about clung to the line. A 29 for both of them. Both of them have crept back up in terms of their score in the individual ends. Nothing between the pair of them. 113 apiece here at the conclusion of the fourth end. One more to go. Well, look, there is the sun right behind the targets. Now, we're getting to the part in the day where it's starting to dip and get lower, and if you look at the shadows, it looks like there could well be time for it to actually play a part. Certainly here in the gold medal match, maybe playing a part in the final of this bronze medal match.
Yeah, the archers are kind of looking straight into the sun, so they've both got peak caps on, which is going to help, but you know, the sun's going to come into their scopes. Both of these archers have got black casings around their scopes, so I think that's better than some we've seen a bit more see-through. But they've also got that spirit level, don't forget, the bubble at the bottom of the scope, and again, light bouncing off that can go right in their eyes as well, make it difficult to see if the bow's level.
Let's hear it for both of them, ladies and gentlemen.
It can make a difference.
And number 5 of this bronze medal playoff at the World Championships of 2021. Matthias Fullerton and Robin Yatmar tied at 113 apiece. Shooting first means you get a chance to apply the pressure. Just outside the 10 line there. Needs to forget about that one. Focus on his next arrow. But Fullerton has the mini advantage here.
9.
Just see the reaction to that shot again, couldn't you? Lack of balance. And not to the left. She wants to get back into it. Both so close.
Didn't take advantage of the opportunity presented to him. So it's still in Fullerton's hand. 10, and he's got the bronze. Held on for a long time, and it's a 9 for a 1-4-1. And yet again, the fourth time in a row, Yatmar can draw level with a 10, and he does it with a 10. A 141 for the pair of them. What a thriller this has been. We thought so right at the beginning when, after 2 ends, the pair of them had a good end each and a bad end each. Now we see them all level after the regulation 5 ends, and we go to a shoot-off.
The score is the same. Who is closest to center? That is what will decide this game.
So another tie. Each archer's going to get 1 arrow. Closest to the middle is going to decide who steps on that World Championship podium. Who goes home with a medal around their neck and who doesn't.
Go on then, I'm going to ask you, while they clean the target faces, clear target faces, fresh target faces put on, in case we need to have a measure. Who do you fancy?
I feel like Fullerton has kind of led this, although the scores have been pretty equal. You know, he keeps starting well and then having a bad third arrow, and the momentum has kind of been in his corner, but just shift over to Robin, I think, and, you know, finishing with that 10 that he needed to bring this tie break. Can he hold it together?
Well, patterns again. I'm going back to my patterns. I think I'm going a little bit senile. You're probably right. But 4 times in that match, Yatmar was presented with an opportunity to draw level, but he needed a 10. 4 times he hit the 10.
But he was the 4 times he started with it well. 3 times he started with a poor arrow, ended the 3 with a 10. Well, he got 1 arrow.
Very true, very true. But he is going to be shooting second. Well, it's right on a knife edge, as these medal matches should be. Who is going to get the compound men's individual bronze medal here at the 2021 World Archery Championships? Matthias Fullerton and Robin Yatmar with a single arrow shoot-off to decide.
Holding is shaking. He should have got rid of it already.
9 points.
Right 9, big opportunity. Needed a 10 to draw level in 4 of the 5 sets. Yatmar and has succeeded. And he's hit the 10 in the shoot-off here, and that has taken Robin Yatmar to the 2021 World Archery Championships bronze medal. What a fabulous match it was, though. Hats off to Matthias Fullerton. The 18-year-old played his part, and Robin Yatmar's sister Isel there, absolutely in floods of tears of happiness. Her brother has just made it onto the World Championship podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coaches and judges to the wheel of play as we are about to see who becomes
They take a look back. No one really grabbed a hold of that one. There were a couple of occasions when it looked like Matthias Fullerton was going to do so. But each time that the opportunity to level up presented itself to this man, Robin Yatmar, he took it.
Yeah, he really did. Like you say, finishing off them with a 10 when he really needed it the most, and pushing that tie, getting the 10. Brilliant shot from him.
Time now to find out who is going to take the world title here in the compound men's individual here on Compound Saturday at the Riverside Park in Yankton, South Dakota.
For the gold medal and world champion title on target, number 1, representing Austria, Nico Venna. Shooting for the gold medal and championship of the world, on target, number 2, Mr. Perfect,
Time for the gold medal match here. Nico Venna of Austria is 24 years old and the world number 28. He is the underdog for sure because he's up against the world number 1, 27-year-old Dutchman, like Mr. Perfect Schlosser. Won the World Championships in 2013 in Belek in Turkey. Hasn't won it since then, but has a big chance now. Schlosser versus Venna for the world title in 2021. And it will be Sir Perfect to shoot first.
Not the start he was after.
And the conditions are pretty settled, aren't they? Seems to show that nerves can get to even so perfect.
I feel like he's had an upgrade. Sir Perfect? It's Mr. Perfect. You knighted him?
I'll come back to it. Venna not taking advantage there. He has just started to pick up again, and you can see from the trees in the background, it's not steady. Just don't like that. And 29 in the first. It's a good score for most people. Venna, so the pair of them have matched each other, but in some respects, perhaps the pressure is off. Like Schlosser now, known as Mr. Perfect, until a couple of years ago. The reason I call him so perfect now is because after winning, I think, the High-End Archery World Final in 2018, it stands to be corrected as it was that year, but he was then given the equivalent of a knighthood in the Netherlands.
Well, there you go. Needs to get his quiver belt updated.
Stick with me, I'll keep you up to date on how archery works. Like Schlosser though, in all seriousness, shooting a 9 at the beginning, that's a very unusual start for him.
It is, but like you say, in some ways, did it just take the pressure right off him, because, you know, often he's building himself up to these 150s, we get to the 15th arrow, or 13th, in the semi-final, and something changes in his mind, but that 150's gone, so just focus on the now.
And Nico Venna from Austria starting out very well as well. Level with Mike Schlosser. So we go into end number 2 and Schlosser to shoot first again.
Just tiny little observation. His left eye just started to close as the shot went off. Don't know if that had any impact on him at all, but So close, but it's going to be a 9.
Mark for a measure. That's how close it was. Schlosser back in the centre and a quicker shot as well.
No change in his eyes, fixed on the target.
That one marked clearly as a 9, and you can see the yellow target between the arrow and the line for the 10. Schlosser back in the centre of the target for another 29 and 58 out of 60. Maximum here for Venna is technically 58, but only with a 10 here and a measure going in his favour on that first arrow. Gets the 10. Now it's about the measure. I think this could be a very critical one, because not because of the score, but because of the effect on the confidence.
Absolutely, at this stage, you know, every point is critical, and it's a real mental game. Obviously, who's going to shoot first, and we drop points against Mr. Perfect or Sir Perfect. I think it's been called a 9.
XX9.
Schlosser's target. Confirmation here. Spot on as always. 9-10 from Nico Venna. So a 1 point lead for Mike Schlosser. Now Venna just needs to hold his nerve here, because he's seen Schlosser drop a couple of 9s in the first 2 ends. Just needs to stay on his game and ignore what Mike Schlosser is doing and bang his arrows, as many as he can, into that 10 ring. Start of the third, and it will be the Austrian to shoot first.
He's just being so unlucky, like not far out at all.
All the luck on target number 2. Holding on a bit longer.
Looked way more solid, didn't it? Held still, broke nice, good timing.
9.
Chance again. So Venna, if he can put this into the 10, puts a bit of pressure on Mike Schlosser.
And came off.
10 points.
And a nervy Nicky Hansen in next to me. Another 9 from Mike Schlosser, a 28 from him, and the pair are all square on 86 points. Now, at what point does the mindset change for these two athletes? On the one hand, Mike Schlosser, he can dig deep on bags of experience and correct this, but he might be thinking, crikey, that's a few more 9s than I'm used to. On the other side, you've got Nico Venna, who's thinking to himself, hey, I didn't start so well, but it wasn't too bad, and look at me, I'm a level with Mike Schlosser. We've got 6 arrows left. World title at stake.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do as an archer is try and keep a lid on those thoughts. Just try and like deflect them away. You know, it's normal, natural for them to occur, but you've got to stay in the present. You've got to stay in the now. You can't be thinking about what if, you know, could I win this? Can I, you know, as soon as you start visualising yourself on that podium at this point, it's not a good idea. Yes, you want a year of work more looking at this World Championships, visualising yourself there, but all that work's done arrow by arrow now.
Well, I understand the thought process. It's just it's easier said than done, because whatever's going on here, Schlusser's come into this as the favourite. He knows that. Venna knows that. Schlusser now finds himself a point down after a measure. And the pressure has just switched sides. Venna has a point to play with here.
Yeah, that first arrow on the left there, the last end got marked up to a 10, giving him the lead.
Very much advantage. Nico Venna here. Another 10 for the Austrian. 29 for Mike Schlusser puts him on a 115, but could be a 2-point lead here for Schlusser, for Venna, if he gets another perfect. Just into the 9, so matching Schlusser.
Outstage. The championship of the world.
116. Well, what a turnaround that markup has made in the third end. I mean, Vicky, we didn't see that coming, but the change of score happened right at the beginning, so both athletes knew.
Yep, they would have been aware of that. It was just that first arrow Nico shot in the third end, like you say, to the left. It was just marked up. Big difference, point ahead. And you know, he had that opportunity to capitalise then on that last arrow, but shot a 9 to equal that end with Schlosser 29 apiece.
Well, we go into the 5th and final end here, and I couldn't tell you how strange this is. After a mark-up in the third, the Austrian 24-year-old, world number 28, Nico Venna, finds himself 1 point up against the favourite, Mike Schlusser, the world number 1. Schlusser to shoot first. 3 arrows to decide the 2021 world title. That's all Schlusser can do, put the pressure on here and hope Venna drops the ball.
Longer hold, a bit of shaking. Straight in the X.
I'm not sure he can believe the position he has put himself in here, and it just got a little bit better with a 9 from Schlusser. He can open things up here.
Looking so good.
This is incredible. A big, deep breath there from Nico Venna of Austria. Longer hold from Schlusser. He's pulled it into the 9. Now there is a huge chance here. An 8 for the Austrian to win. Nico Venna on the verge of a massive result. What a finish! 3 X's for a perfect 30. His second one of the match. And Nico Venna of Austria is the 2021 Hyundai World Archery Champion in the compound men's individual. He's become the first Austrian to take this title. Gets a warm hug from his opponent, Mike Schlusser. But what a result. I can't quite believe it myself. But having seen it firsthand, I can tell you that confirmation is there that Nico Venna of Austria is the new world champion.
World 3D Archery Champion.
Nicky,
European
What just happened?
I don't think anyone saw that come in. What a match that was. I mean, tricky conditions for both archers, but congratulations to Nico Venna. Just an absolute solid performance and world champion.
Incredible performance. He stuck in there, and it was that turning point in the third where a measure saw him move from what we thought was level pegging, which we were saying was a fantastic result, that he was going to be level with Schlosser. He turned out after a measure to be 1 point up, and from then on we saw what pressure can do even to Mike Schlosser. And look at that, and the finish as well, spectacular. 3, not just 10s, 3 X's, and there they are. I wonder what he is feeling now. Let's go and find out what he has to say.
Nico, champion of the world, how are you feeling right now?
I'm speechless about this. I was shooting today. I don't have words for it. It was just amazing. It was all good. It was just amazing today on the field. I enjoyed every minute here. It was so fun to shoot here and to be world champion again. It feels so awesome to put all the effort which I made. So it's really thanks to my family, to my father, and all the others which support me all the time.
Nico, that last shot, it took you a while to release it, but when you did, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was just, I know to make a good shot and execute it in the middle, and it was like a clean shot, and it was perfect.
This is your first outdoor world title. This is your first outdoor world title. How important is this goal for you?
I think it's one of maybe the top of the medals you want to have in your collection, and I achieved it. I'm so really proud of it, and I want to thank everyone.
Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Nico.
Well, I can't believe it. So you said you can't believe it. So even Nico Venna can't believe it. I mean, he said he shot so well, and he certainly did. I mean, those last 3 hours, what a classy way to take a World Championship title. And it's not his first, is it?
No, he has been junior world field champion, he's been world 3D champion, he's now a target outdoor world champion. Like, just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and pointing out that it was really the one that he wanted to add to his collection. Fabulous result. I mean, you've got to have some words about Mike Schlosser though. Favourite, he shot so well. There was perhaps signs in the semi-final with a slightly reduced score against Verma. Against Yatmar, that writing was on the wall a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, 144 from him, dropping points in the 4th and 5th ends. You know, just signs creeping in that things weren't all well for him. But you know, you can't take anything away from Schlosser. He's been absolutely phenomenal over the last few years, and probably the most decorated male compounder of all time, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure he will be back. There's no doubt about that. But well, when the things changed around after the measure in the 3rd, Venna never looked back, and he is the deserving 2021 World Archery Champion here in Yankton, South Dakota. Just a little bit before 4:15 in the afternoon as we await the medal presentations here on Compound Saturday. We have more live action though coming your way tomorrow with Recurve Sunday. But before that, let's present the medals to the Compound men's individual winners here in the USA.
Medals and the Low Machine Watch for World Archery Champion of 2021 will be presented by World Archery Executive Board member Greg Easton. The gifts will be presented by the representative of the local organizing committee, Wanda Fox. Bronze medal representing Estonia, Robin Yatmar.
Well, coming off the back of the World Youth title in Poland in both the individual and the mixed team. Robin Yatmar, the 20-year-old from Estonia, has collected a World Championship bronze medal here in Yankton. Presented with his medal by World Archery executive member Greg Easton, and Wanda Fox giving out the gifts here, part of the organising committee, who have done a fantastic job. Well, Mr. Perfect wasn't quite at the races today here in Yankton, but even an off-form Mike Schlusser from the Netherlands collects a world silver medal. That's how good he really is. Surprised in the final, but still on the podium.
Gold medal, World Champion.
For the first time, we're going to see an Austrian on the top of the podium in the compound men's individual, as Nico Venna, the 24-year-old from Austria, takes the world title here in Yankton. And congratulations to him. What a deserving winner of the world title, and what a classy way to finish. 3 in the X-ring to seal the deal. Now it's time to celebrate with the Austrian national anthem.
Of Austria.
Well, brilliant action here in the Riverside Park, Yankton, South Dakota. Surprises all the way to the end on Compound Saturday. Nico Venna taking the World Men's Compound Individual title here in 2021, beating the favourite Mike Schlusser to the silver medal, and Robin Yatmar in third. And that does conclude the men's tournament, and here are the final rankings. Matthias Fullerton losing out in the semi-finals, and that is our top 12. Nico Venna, the first Austrian to take this title here since it began in 1995. Well, the sun's shining, and I'm sure they'll go off and celebrate with a cool one in this balmy fall evening here in South Dakota. Lovely weather we're experiencing here. Nikki, your highlights from the brilliant compound men's session?
I think it all just belongs to Nico. You know, there's no more to be said. To beat Mr. Perfect in the World Championship gold medal match, fantastic shooting, and to end it on 3 X's, really impressive.
Yeah, it certainly was a classy finish from Nico Venna, a name that I'm sure we're going to see time and time again. Heart goes out to Matthias Fullerton, who, well, look, he was banging into the middle a lot, but he just had a few times where he couldn't find it in his bronze medal playoff. And Yatmar, well, he had to settle for bronze after a struggle through his semi-final, that's for sure. He did not have it easy at all, but he did make it through to the bronze medal match, and he found a way through Mikey Schlosser didn't start on the greatest of form in the gold medal match, having come through fairly comfortably, writing on the wall with a low score in his semi-final win. But Nico Venna, time and time again, banged it into the centre of the target. After a measure in the third, he went ahead and never looked back. The conditions here played a massive part in the bronze medal match. And it was a gritty performance from Robin Yatmar, who had to fight back. He certainly wasn't the form athlete in that bronze medal match, but he got himself back into it and went on to win. But the final here, a classy finish and an end to Compound Saturday here in Yankton. More to come tomorrow on Recurve Sunday.